just not too far from Johnstown, PA on Route 56 at the shared parking lot for the Lost Turkey Trail, and the right across the road is the John P Saylor Trail. So Becky just pulled up over here, so we're gonna need a shuttle to do this. I guess I don't know if she came up with this or found it somewhere, but basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna work over here. If you can see this on the map, we're gonna start with the Lost Turkey Trail. So we're gonna come up here somewhere, start the Lost Turkey Trail. It's gonna be we have to hike 18 miles to get to camp tonight because we're gonna be going through a bunch of game lands and private lands. So the first available camp is 18 miles in today. And then we'll resupply here tomorrow, and we'll head across the street and do just the front loop of the John P Saylor Trail. You probably can't see it on this map, but anyways, yeah, I've done John P Saylor before, but not the Lost Turkey. So Lost Turkey's a linear trail, the other one's a loop trail. We just did a beer drop back on this forest road over here. It's because our campsite where we're camping tonight is right next to this forest road. So we did our beer drop right next to the camp, and we're up at this high point. This is called three state vista, where you can see 3 states. So this is really cool. A bit windy up here. We're up the top of the mountain. This is pretty close to the top. This is like the second highest point in Pennsylvania. Here's our trail over here, Blue Connector Trail over the Lost Turkey. We just came out onto this road and the blue blazes ended. So we're gonna head up to this fire tower. I think I said fire tower. Obviously not a fire tower, but a satellite tower, I guess. Or some kind of communications tower. Right over from the tower. Looks like we're about to begin officially the Lost Turkey Trail. And it looks like we'll be following the red blazes. I don't think I mentioned, but we are in the Gallitzin State Forest. And I don't know if right now we're technically in Blue Knob State Park or not, but if not, we're very close. We're exactly 2 miles into things. And I'm so far impressed by the trail maintenance. And we got trail markers. Been pretty decent so far. Good enough. There looks like a bathroom up there. We've arrived at the bottom of that big hill, about a little over 3 miles into things. Here's the Cox Monument. I'll show you in a second, but I'll read this story for a minute. So you can imagine in 1856 how unpopulated this area might be. This monument was dedicated in 1906. Put crosses out of sticks on here. These numbers now, I'm thinking these are miles from the very beginning of the Lost Turkey from the fire tower. Because we had that little blue blaze connector, and I'm a little bit over 4 miles now on my GPS. Also, since we got to the bottom of that big climb, those first 3 miles, the blazes have turned from red to orange. We got this huge mess, and Becky said that she said, okay, there's blazes. Yeah, the blazes are on the other side, so I'm trying to find a way around this. She's going, I don't know what she's trying to do. I think I'm going to try to get across here, and then I'll just have to kind of bushwhack up the hill somewhere. This is about the third one of these massive blowdowns in this valley. We've had to get around. As you can see, we're down here by this big creek. I'm not sure of the name of it. If I can figure it out, I'll put it below. We just had a pretty steep hill climb down off of that hillside over there. And then we got to cross, at least we have this this cable thing. Yeah. So hopefully I can do this with my clothes in my hand. Otherwise, I'm ready to pull across. This is probably not such a good idea to try to do this with in my hand. Is there any way I can attach these? Because they won't pull down. Is there a way I can attach these in my pack? I have a good feeling about these. can officially say that this is the first time I've seen a trail marker with made out of plates. I got us at 10.5 miles on the day. We just stopped to take a little snack break here. And a pretty cool bridge over here. Song of the day, day one. Going with Fastway, Say What You Will. If anybody remembers that one. Becky can offer a better picture. Waiting for that thing to scramble out of there. It thinks you can't see it because it's so camouflaged.
I know, it's like, if I don't move.
It is about 10 to 9, and it rained all night. It's 39 now, it got down to 32, so hopefully my filter, which was down there, did not freeze. Yeah, this is camp, so I knew it was going to rain, so I did this half porch mode thing. And Becky's set up over there. And it's supposed to stop raining. It's just drizzling now, but it's supposed to stop raining by noon. We should be back at the car about then. And good water source here. This is just right off the road, so a few cars have been going by, but it's just like a forest road. As you can see, a bit of a slightly foggy start to this morning. I shouldn't say start, we're already about 2 miles into things. Today's plan is we got 8 miles back to the parking lot, and then 6 miles on the John P Saylor to the campsite that we're shooting for. I'll discuss the plans for what we have going on back at the parking lot when we get there. Becky's got a pretty interesting idea. Today's gonna be easy compared to yesterday. Not that yesterday was terribly difficult. There shouldn't be any major climbs today. But tonight is gonna be pretty cold. We got about 3 more miles to go to the parking lot. And here's the shelter that they have on this trail, so let's go check it out. Yeah, picnic table. Benches around the fire pit, that's pretty nice. No water source that I'm seeing right now. It's kind of tiny. I mean, you could put three sleeping pads across here. That's about it. A couple screws on the wall to hang stuff. Some dry firewood, that's nice. That's about it. Like if you were with a group over here and somebody wanted a hammock, I'm sure you could make something work somewhere around here. Recently redone roof. It looks pretty good. Probably no eye hooks or nothing to hang anything. So like a hammock or nothing inside here. It'd be way too short for a hammock anyways in here. Here was the plan. Becky had this really good idea, so I like this idea. So since we're gonna have to go up and get her car tomorrow anyways, we're just gonna go get it today. And it gives us a few extra things. We get to warm up in the car. And but better than that, we're gonna be passing a pizza place on the way. So pizza is the lunch for the day. All right, we're getting into the popular campsite areas. And just up ahead is the connector to the back loop. There's a bridge down there. What do you call it? Suspension bridge. We got about another mile to where Becky said we're gonna try to camp. She said she knows of a campsite further down this way. Yeah, if you do go across, I have an older video from probably like 3 years ago, but if you do go across the bridge, there's the back loop is over there. It's probably half the length of this front loop, maybe 7 miles or so. Plenty of good camping right around here. And yeah, like I said, we should be about 5 miles in right now, going clockwise on this main loop. Camp in the morning. So anyways, last night we passed up this camp. We were up there on the main trail looking for a camp, and we passed this one up. We walked down that way further down the creek, and we couldn't find the camp, so we tried to make one up on our own down in the woods, and couldn't find a good spot, so we ended up bushwhacking all the way back up, another half a mile back up to this camp. So we ended up here. It's almost 8:45 in the morning, and I hated getting out of my quilts. It's 24 degrees right now. I got down to 21 overnight, but it was real windy when we called it a night. So I did this first time I did this one. This is I made a wall just to block the wind. Was coming in from this direction, so I just made this wall as you can see, to block the wind. So that was my setup there. Becky's got a tent over here on this peninsula. And yeah, my water is pretty much frozen solid right now. Hopefully I can get a little bit of drink out of that. All right, that's the camp tour. Let me see how good I do on today's song of the day. I'm gonna say the name of the song is Cruel Summer. Yeah, Cruel Summer. And I'm gonna say that the musical group is Bananarama. So I'll have to check that one later and see how good I got on it. John P Saylor Trail does have these mile markers depending on which direction you're headed. So it's 7 miles. We've been on it so far, and 5 miles from the parking lot. We just came out to the place called Wolf Rocks, kind of like the touristy place. It's only like 1.5 miles from the parking lot. There's some people up there. I don't feel like climbing up to the top there. It's so much more natural looking with the graffiti on the rocks. Since we only have about 1 mile now back to get to the parking lot, I'll go ahead and recap things. And as soon as I find out which way the trail's going, I guess it's over here. So the Lost Turkey Trail, like I said, that's the first time I've done that one. It's a linear trail, and I think it makes more sense if you're going to do it to start where we did, up at the high point, up by Blue Knob State Park. And that way you won't, if you go the other direction, you'd have to finish the whole hike with the last 3 miles being uphill to the radio tower. The trail itself, I mean, it's kind of, I'm sure there's a way you could shorten it, but yeah, there's that long stretch of like 18 miles where you're not allowed to camp. And I'm not going to get my feet wet. Okay. Yeah, 18 miles where you're not allowed to camp. In the valley by the Cox Children's Memorial, there was at least 3 pretty recent, look like microburst blowdowns. You know, it's kind of early in the year, so maybe they're going to get to that, cleaning those things up. The trail itself, it wasn't terribly difficult. There was quite a few muddy sections, especially yesterday. I'm just talking to the camera too much, and I can't find the trail. Okay, I guess this is it. And over here on the John P Saylor Trail, there is, we're going to be coming out the end of this trail, right at the Babcock picnic area. There are pit toilets there. You're not allowed to, pretty sure you're not allowed to leave a car there overnight, so that's why the parking lot is across the road, across Route 56. Yeah, this John P Saylor Trail, this is like beginner, easy. There's no big climbs or anything on this trail. If you're interested in doing the both loops, including the smaller back loop, which, like I said, I think is about 7 miles, you might see on some maps, it's easy back there too, but you might see on some maps there's a shelter back there. There is a shelter. And you can see it in my old video from 3 years ago or whatever. But that shelter, I wouldn't plan on staying in it. It's very tiny with a dirt floor. And probably be bunking with whatever animals are living in there too. So yeah, it's basically just an emergency get out of the storm shelter. This trail, it's kind of muddy down by the main creek. I think that's Clear Shade Creek down there where we camped at. Water sources, yeah, water's not an issue to find on either one of these 2 trails. Even with the leaves off the trees, we could kind of see some vistas early on the first day, but nothing too spectacular. Yeah, John P Saylor, I mean, it's nice down by the creek when you get by those nice campsites. John P Saylor Trail, there's some boggy areas. Almost forgot I wanted to mention the blazes. Blazes on this John P Saylor Trail are orange. Pretty easy to follow this trail for the most part. The Lost Turkey Trail, it started off with red blazes, and then it switched to intermingling, I guess, orange and red, and then eventually it was just, I think it was eventually just all orange. But there were a couple turns that really needed to be blazed. There are some points over there also where you're crossing over like snowmobile trails, which have orange diamonds. They're like orange diamonds with like a white border, I think they were. So just don't confuse those with the orange blazes. And I don't think there's anything else I wanted to mention about either one of these trails. So yeah, unless anything exciting happens between here and the parking lot, that'll be a wrap for this one. Thanks for watching.